Well, hello, friends. Welcome to Awareness Moments with Kyra. And I was really sitting into what is it that wants to be expressed today, what wants to come through in this process of all that we're experiencing and how we bring awareness into our every moment lives. People are having a variety of experiences right now, but one that's universal is the gift of recognizing our energies are amped up. This is full moon energy. You know, last night was a beautiful full moon. I hope you got out to see it because it was truly quite remarkable. And at the same time, what happens whenever there's a full moon, I mean, it's documented and proven that during a full moon, there are a lot of energies that are amped up. And we begin to experience, the power of those energies and get choices about what we're going to do with the energy we're experiencing. So one of the things I want to invite you to be aware of at this time with these energies that are arising in this time of the transitions that are happening in our world. There are many, many layers of experiences and emotions and feelings that are going on for people. Those that are in tremendous fear about what is happening, about their own life and livelihood. Those that are experiencing a deep peace being at home and celebrating family and finding fun ways to be creative. And then there are those that are experiencing this kind of back and forth, one moment in fear and another moment in peace, and trying to find that middle ground. But when the energies are amped up, and a part of it is as we are containing ourselves at this time, we're containing ourselves in ways that then contain those energies so that they become catalysts for action, catalysts for a greater realization within us. And yet we also need to find ways to make sure we're expressing and getting those energies moving in a positive direction. We are in the midst of this Holy Week. And during this sacred time, we recognize that there is always an expansive energy, one that feels, first of all, full of fear. There's excitement at Palm Sunday with Hosanna, then there's fear over knowing what's coming in our Easter story. And what is that story within each one of us that is amping up energies? I can only imagine what amount of energy it might have taken in the process for Jesus to move out of the way, to bring forth the full Christ consciousness, to go through this crucifixion experience, and yet rise through that into the resurrection and eventually the ascension. Well, for us, we also have that Christ awareness. And are we taking that energy, the energy that's amped up right now for a variety of reasons, and are we using it in a way that is actually elevating our consciousness? That's what Jesus had practiced. He spent 40 days and 40 nights off in the desert. He constantly was going off to the mountaintop to pray. And so each one of us get to say, well, how do I, first of all, amp up those energies in a positive direction, keep a high watch on the thoughts and the feelings that I'm having, and then be able to then use them in the most powerful way that will benefit myself and the world. We often think when we get a lot of energies happening, that we can, we can just take off with those and we can just quiet them all down. But the truth is, that doesn't always happen. Some of us are good at sitting in silence and going into that sacred space and quieting all those thoughts. And maybe we work at this time at getting better and better at that, to find the true, still, small voice, to find the place where we anchor into the truth of our being and know who we are. And yet there's also this place where that may not be the way we move these energies through our being. And we begin to coalesce the various experiences that are bombarding us. not just from the outside, but they are the experiences that bombard us through our own thoughts and feelings in the moment. And we get to say, well, how am I processing energy? You know, one of the things I learned long ago is that I'm a very physical being. And when I am processing, I also am one that I love my quiet and going into that sacred space within. And yet I find that even when I do that, I still need to physically express energy. When it reaches a certain point, then it has to have a physical expression for me. It's like creativity must be expressed. And so as we are working through these waves of energies that are coming through, and as I'm saying that, I want to just say a shout out and a wave to all of you that are watching with me this moment, Mike Brentari and Gil Gallegos and Randy Fickey and Pat Powers and Kimberly Rosenthal, Jeff Lobeck. Love you all, and so great to see you on here. Thank you. And those that will be joining at some later time or watching this in the future, I just want to say I acknowledge you. And sharing this message is part of a way of expressing these energies that are amped up through this time of the collective kind of condensing us into these tight spaces, so to speak, into this being at home in ourselves. And as we are brought into that, then we also need to find ways to express fully these energies out into the world. Well, for me, I might need to go get my yoga mat out. It's actually sitting here. I might express that way. I might find I need to get out and walk in the neighborhood. I see more people out walking and doing things. I might go out and express my energy by supporting and helping someone else. Or maybe I find ways to really go in and do my deep breathing. And I might be able to find that through my meditation time and doing that. But I want to invite you to notice the nuances of the energies right now. You know, one of the things that our way shower and master teacher Christ did, Jesus, was that he learned the nuances of energies. And that allowed him to then help bring forth the healing awareness that was necessary to bring his energy up in awareness of the truth of someone's being, of their wholeness, of their health and vitality, of the truth of who they were in such a way he saw them as the Christ. He saw the Christ in them. He amped up his energies, but he nuanced what he saw that individual, what energy was necessary to support the movement within that being. Now, if we look at what that represents for each one of us, it represents our learning the nuances in the energy systems in our own body temple, in our mind, in our emotional body. Excuse me, and bringing our true spirit of life, spirit of truth, spirit of love, and then bringing that alive in us. Oh my gosh, when we bring that aliveness and let those amped up energies of the full moon work on your behalf, it brings an aliveness in us that then we can use to help bless the world. We can use to support others where they are. You know, we all come into this world with amazing gifts and talents that we haven't acknowledged or recognized, or we've naysayed, and we're learning to embrace the truth of who and what we are. I talked with someone in the middle of America yesterday who was, she's spending time in a family farm and ranch during this time period and out shoveling hay for the cattle and doing things and realizing that she is connecting to nature and to the land and to Mother Earth and to her awareness of her connection to the elements. She started to notice when she races in her mind, the wind seems to be faster. When she stopped and invited the clouds to separate so that she could experience the sun on her body, she really felt it as if it already had happened. And she connected into the energy of that sun. And suddenly she opened her eyes, and there the clouds, which looked like there was no way they could dissipate, dissipated. Now, that is one particular gift of working with the elements. There are gifts that we have within our being that are calling us to coalesce these energies so that we're not all over. We're amping up the place where we are most profoundly able to be an expression of that light of the world right here, right now. What is your gift? What is the place where you're beginning to nuance your ability to bring those energies together, express them out physically so that they're not so amped up that you're electrified, and yet at the same time you're full of aliveness. And that in that process that you're activating aspects of yourself that maybe have laid dormant for years. Maybe you've not acknowledged these nuanced gifts within you. This ability to connect and experience your oneness with creation and allow that creativity of the universe to flow through. See, what I know is that you are a magnificent being. You are made of the same thing as the Christ consciousness. You are Christ consciousness and expression, and the same thing that Jesus was made of. We learn through living our life, living into it, living into the fullness with passion and compassion, how to bring those amped up energies, but coalesce and move them forward in ways that bring greater awareness into not only our lives, but in the world, that bless and multiply the good for everyone, that see each other as whole, already in their perfection as the Christ consciousness we are. Our compassion is stirred up right now as well, and grief upon the planet of those that are experiencing the loss of loved ones. So in every way, there are abilities and ways of perceiving that are ours. Maybe you're helping the world cry. You know, maybe you're helping others cry through the experiences that they're having. Maybe you're somebody who is absolutely in a place of deep, profound peace, and you're blessing the world with that gift. Maybe you're one on the front lines, making a difference and taking actions. Whatever it is, to bring those energies together, allow yourself to express them in the way that is just the easiest, most grace-filled way for you. Notice the nuances of energy and allow yourself to begin to light up your inner being by that unified field of energy. When you unify those energies within you, then that's when the universe goes, zzz, let me bring forth the greater awareness so that you can notice for yourself, what are the gifts in my life? What are the ways where I am beginning to understand a deeper awareness of the Christ consciousness operating and acting through me? How do I get ready and hold these energies and yet move them forward to elevate and ascend my being? We are in this sacred week. Let us move through it, knowing there is a divine path unfolding for us. There is a path of something magnificent that is going to allow these energies to express in new and wondrous ways. And it may not always look like what we expect. Certainly the world doesn't look like we expect right now. And yet we can know a greater truth. I can only imagine the power and the magnificence within Jesus that allowed him to express his Christ consciousness fully. And I know that same power and magnificence is alive in you. God bless you, friends. Have a fabulous day. I look forward to seeing you with Awareness Moments tomorrow. Feel free to comment, share this with your friends. And I just want to acknowledge some of you that showed up. Additionally, Joe Pedalino and Agnes and Mary, McCormick Mara, Anne-Marie, Regina, Cherry. Thank you so much. I love you all. And you're in my heart and soul, and I know the truth of who you are. God bless you, friends. Bye-bye.